The Division in 2023, is it dead? Should you buy it? Can you keep up with newer titles like The Division 2 or Outriders? Those are some of the questions I'll try to answer in today's video. I'll make sure to add chapters in the description so you can jump to the part of the video you are more interested in. So let's start with an easy one. Is Division 1 in 2023 dead? And the answer is the same like the one I've been giving people since pretty much 2020. Kinda. The game does not receive any updates and the player base is pretty small by this point. However, the great thing about the Division is that those things don't really matter if you're enjoying the game. The game as it is offers an interesting story which can be completed solo and then a very well created end game in my opinion. As I've said in my Division 1 versus Division 2 video, I truly believe that Division 1 has a much better end game with much more things for the players to do than Division 2. And the best part is that you can do everything all by yourself. You don't need other people. Heroic / legendary missions are very fun and very challenging, especially the legendary ones. Incursions are pretty much like smaller raids. In Division 2 we got raids, Division 1 we didn't have raids, but raids I think pretty much replaced incursions. You can complete them in a 4-man group or by yourself. However, if you try to go and do incursions all by yourself, it's going to be pretty challenging, so have that in mind. You need a very good build for that. Then of course we have Underground, a very fun PvE activity, Resistance, which is how long can you survive, pretty much with non-stopping waves of enemies coming at you, and the more waves you survive, the harder the game gets. And my personal favorite, of course, the Dark Zone, which is obviously 10 times better than Division's 2 Dark Zone. In the first game, you didn't have 3 small Dark Zones, you only had one pretty huge one, and it looks absolutely stunning and it plays extremely well. So if you enjoy the game, you don't really care about how many players are online in my opinion, since you can do everything all by yourself. The only time player count can become an issue is if you want to participate in some PvP action, which of course you need other players to do that. The Dark Zones still have people in them, so I'm assuming that most regions will have a couple of Dark Zones that are filled with players and you can participate in some PvP action. Now, can it keep up with today's games? Both gameplay but also graphically wise, I would say yes. When it comes to the gameplay, as I already said, the game offers plenty of interesting and challenging activities to do. And I mean really challenging. Putting builds together can be very fun and very interesting. However, keep in mind that it will take you a lot of hours to do that. If you're looking for a specific piece, if you're looking for a specific gun, it might be a grind to get that. The build system, admittedly, is not as good as Division's 2 in my opinion. However, it's unique and allows for some very fun and engaging builds. Builds like the 6-piece classified Nomad build, which pretty much every time you died, you had a 50% chance to, instead of dying, get all your health back, with no cooldown on that. So you could stay alive forever. Then you had the good old classified Striker gear set, which every time you shot at somebody, you gain stacks, and the more stacks you have, the more damage you do, while at the same time you're healing yourself. So the approach the developers had with Division 1 system, I think it was much more, let's see how fun builds we can create and how overpowerful we can make them. And it's not like Division 2 where they try to keep balanced in pretty much every build. When it comes to the way the game looks, even though we're talking about a 7-year-old game and a lot of people would expect the graphics to be outdated, that's not the case. I dare to say that Division 1 looks better than Division 2, and that's because the developers managed to create a game which offers a truly unique atmosphere. New York City during the nighttime with snow falling offers some of the best scenery I've ever seen in a video game. Mankind is on the brink of extinction, societies and governments have collapsed, and you, a Division agent, are the last hope for survival. You're trying to save what can be saved, while at the same time you're also trying to figure out what went wrong. How did the virus almost kill everyone? What happened to the previous Division agents? The map, the atmosphere, and the story itself manages to convince you that all those things actually happen and everything is fucked up. So even though the textures might not look as clean as Divisions 2, you won't care because the outcome of combining pretty decent story with pretty good atmosphere and a stunning map managed to create an outcome that is just perfect in my opinion. So, should you buy it? In my opinion, if you find it for less than 10 euros, then yes. The atmosphere and the level of immersion this game offers is unmatched. I haven't played another game which made me feel like I was part of its world to that level that Division 1 does. The gameplay is still very fun and interesting. If you play only the story, it will take you about 20 to 30 hours, but if you want to see what the end game is all about and what it has to offer, and you start putting builds together and farming for the right pieces and trying to clear incursions and legendary missions, you can play hundreds of hours and still have fun. I really regret not playing this game more while it was at its prime. Of course, I can still go back and play it now and the experience will be pretty much the same, but with Division 2 out now and most people interested in that game, I rarely have the free time needed to do so. Playing all by yourself, however, can get boring at times, and even though, as I said, the player base is not completely wiped, there are about, on PC at least, where we can see the numbers, on Steam actually not on PC, we have about 800 with 700 players on daily basis. Matchmaking for most activities is possible, however, it will take some time to find the right people. So my advice is, if you find the game, in a sale or something where it goes for 5 or 10 euros and you have a good friend that you enjoy playing games with, maybe you can convince him or her to purchase the game as well. And then the two of you are going to have a blast playing together. As you can see from the gameplay in the background, I'm only level 7, and that's because I recently deleted my previous characters and I started from scratch, including deleting pretty much all my stats. So I wouldn't do that if I didn't think that it was worth playing it in 2023. So yeah, in case you're a player who has played Division 1 and you're thinking about going back, obviously nothing has changed the past 4-5 years, ever since the developer stopped supporting Division 1 and they're only putting out global events. But the game still holds up, in my opinion. You can still have a lot of fun. You know what the game was all about. You remember if it can be fun or not. So I don't think you need me to tell you if you should go back. That just comes down to if you liked the game the first time you played it or not. Nothing has changed since then. So yeah, let me know down below in the comment section if you still enjoy playing The Division, if you're planning on going back, or if you just purchase it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye.
Agent, looks like the power grid is a lot more stable. Thanks to you, we're back in business. Rhodes is already on his way back in, so no need to give him an escort. I'll see you when you get here.